Look, I think it's a huge win for President Trump, for the United States. There is but one superpower in this world. It's the United States of America, both militarily and economically. You had the visuals on the military side, but both.
In today's episode, we will be discussing the meeting between Putin and President Trump. But more importantly, the reaction from the mainstream media. I guess they didn't get their way. So what they're doing is throwing shade at the president, and we'll fact check a lot of that. So as always, I'll show you what both sides are saying, and then I'll give you the truth.
Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that.
We just witnessed a masterclass in high-stakes negotiation in Alaska, and the media is having a complete and predictable meltdown. Why? Because they don't understand the first rule of great power and politics, a rule that I saw play out time and time again while in the Navy and on the campaign trail. You don't show your hand until you've already positioned your pieces for victory. They're furious. They're throwing everything they have at President Trump because they didn't get the soundbite that they wanted.
He's welcome onto American soil for the first time in almost 2 decades outside of the UN. And he gets a warm welcome from Trump and gave nothing in return. Stuck to his hardline positions about Ukraine. And he walks away with no sanctions against him, evading sanctions for the 4th time. He walks away with no ceasefire, vague discussion about an agreement that nobody understands. And he's in a stronger position than when he arrived. And Trump, frankly, it's not clear what he got, except some, backhanded BS about how a war wouldn't have happened if Trump had been president, which is something Trump loves to say. And that literally might be the only thing Trump got out of this whole charade.
But in their rage, they're missing the single most important admission to come out of this summit. It came from Vladimir Putin himself. Let that sink in. The Russian president on American soil just confirmed the central truth of this entire conflict. It was avoidable. He stated for the world to hear that had Donald Trump been in the White House, the invasion of Ukraine would not have happened. This is a stunning admission. And what is the media's response? They're ignoring it.
Well, and it seemed like Putin came in and steamrolled, got right into what he wanted to say, and got his...
Instead, they're claiming Trump got steamrolled. They're claiming Putin gave nothing in return. This reminds me of my time working on national campaigns. You have legions of pundits and reporters who think they understand strategy because they can read a poll. They're like sailors who know how to tie a knot, but have no idea how to navigate by the stars. They see the tactics, but they're completely blind to the larger strategy. They think this meeting was about getting a ceasefire deal signed on the spot. That was never the objective. This meeting was about one thing: reestablishing leverage. President Trump's goal was to set the table, to create the conditions where a real deal becomes possible. A deal between Putin and Zelensky. He's not there to fight Ukraine's war. He's there to secure American interests. The media is furious that they couldn't ask questions. You saw the press conference where it was just over and out. They complained that Putin spoke first. This is tactical level noise from a strategic perspective. Who speaks first is a concession you make to get something far more valuable in return. Trump let Putin have his moment on stage, and in exchange, he got Putin to publicly validate his entire position on the war's origins. That's a trade I'd make every single day. Let's look at the facts, the historical record they conveniently forget. Under which presidents did Russia invade its neighbors? Barack Obama and Joe Biden, not Trump. History has already proven the thesis that Putin just confirmed. Now, Putin also used the word agreement, and the internet exploded. There was no peace treaty signed. The agreement was a consensus on the framework for negotiation. In the military, we call this shaping the battle space. Before you ever commit your main forces, you maneuver to gain a positional advantage. That's what happened in Alaska. They denied the boundaries of the problem so a solution can be built. President Trump said it himself. It's ultimately up to them. He's acting as a mediator, a broker of power, using American influence to force the principal actors to the table. He's not fighting their fight. He made that crystal clear. That's the America First doctrine in action. This is a distraction from the real work of building our nation. For the political establishment, however, these foreign wars are never a distraction. They are a business model, a way to funnel money and expand their influence. Trump is disrupting that model, and they hate him for it. The media's hysteria is just a symptom of their loss of power. Listen to the entitlement, the sheer negativity from reporters on the ground because the meeting didn't follow their little script. Caitlin Collins didn't get to ask a gotcha question to President Trump or Putin. She says it felt not good. She claims Trump got steamrolled based on what her feelings.
It was just very unusual, atypical, and I think we're all awaiting, the readout because the way that it felt in the room was not good. It did not seem like things went well, and it seemed like Putin came in and steamrolled, got right into what he wanted to say, and got his.
She says it felt not good. She claims Trump got steamrolled based on what? Her feelings? She wasn't in the room. This is journalistic malpractice. When you don't have facts, you report your bias. And when you get corrected by your own network.
Said at the end of his written remarks, and he also said in a scale of 1 to 10, I give today a 10. So that's the president grading what he thought of the meeting.
News conference. This, by all of our standards, isn't a news conference because
That's excellent news, and exactly what we needed to hear from the president, because
with what the president actually said, that he'd grade the meeting a 10 out of 10, you're forced to change your tune on a dime. And it's pathetic. They demand to know the secret details of a sensitive, ongoing negotiation about a war. No one with any experience in the military, in business, in politics, would ever conduct a negotiation in public. You would never give your adversary that advantage. And right now, the adversary is the news media.
It is possible we were more prepared for this meeting than he was.
Oh, you probably take that to the bank.
What these reporters and the politicians they serve fail to grasp is that this meeting likely wasn't just about Ukraine. When you have the former director of national intelligence, John Ratcliffe, and Senator Marco Rubio in the room, you're talking about much bigger issues. You're talking about China. You're talking about the global economy. You're talking about realigning the world order. And you're talking about the Russiagate hoax. That's why John Ratcliffe was in the room. President Trump holds the ultimate card, the United States economy. He could turn the knob and cut Russia out of the global system entirely. That's what real leverage is. A handshake, or who speaks first, is just window dressing. The hypocrisy is astounding. They attack Trump for meeting with Putin, yet they post pictures of Obama, Biden, and both Clintons laughing and shaking his hand. There is a deep, abiding double standard, and it's because Trump is an outsider who has continued to ignore playing their game. The bottom line is this: the media wants you to see chaos and failure because they are terrified of success. They are rooting against the president of the United States. They were prepared for a fight, not for a strategic realignment. We, the American people, should be focused on America first, not Ukraine first. And what we saw in Alaska was a president putting that principle into action. If you like this content, smash the like and subscribe button. Really helps the channel. I'll see you in the next one.